General Hospital, Willow crushed in court, Michael plays dirty. General Hospital sees Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, facing off with Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, in court this week, and there are bombshells dropping all over the place. And one of these may absolutely crush Willow and her plans for the future. We're going to talk about all the truth bombs and how Michael may blow up Willow's life before a twist changes everything. General Hospital custody battle, Michael's ruthless strategy and bombshell revelations. Alright, so this week is absolutely explosive. On Tuesday, we've got Michael and Willow and their supporters and lawyers headed into court to kick off this custody battle. Then on Wednesday, Michael takes the stand and he is prepared to be ruthless. Lots of others are on the stand as well as both sides are fighting tooth and nail to each get full custody of Wiley Quartermain Corinthos, Viren Weaver, and Amelia Grace Corinthos, Sequoia and Serenity Mork-Mako. So this week, Michael has already vowed to break Willow down to nothing to get his kids away from her. Michael just told Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, that the kids are emotionally unsafe with Willow because she's in so deep with Drew Kane Quartermain, Cameron Matheson. And then Christina was talking about her moving the kids all over the place, you know, out of the gatehouse over to Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, and then now in with Drew. So it's going to get really ugly soon. And Willow is absolutely stunned in court. And of course, Drew and Nina are going to be there at Willow's side along with her sketchy attorney Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst. In Michael's corner, of course, we've got fierce attorney Diane Miller, Carolyn Hennessy along with Carly Corinthos Spencer, Laura Wright, Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, and Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson. And I'm sure Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Benard, and Jason Morgan, Steve Burton will also be there to support Michael. Shocking courtroom drama, adultery, drugs, and Carly's explosive accusation. So right now, Diane is pretty confident because she can say in court that Willow committed adultery and Drew was drugged and doing body shots off a hooker and he went viral with the video. That's why Michael was able to get that emergency custody ruling. But all hell breaks loose and lots of dirty deeds are revealed this week in front of the judge. And in a moment that may be intended to cause chaos, Carly snaps and yells out in the courtroom that Nina drugged Drew. Now, technically she didn't. But she did pay the hooker Jacinda Paige Herschel, who drugged Drew with drugs that Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, provided. But she was definitely in the mix. This may surprise Drew to some extent. I mean, he knew Portia set him up, but I can't remember if he knew that Nina was involved. I don't think he did because I don't think Brad Cooper, Perry Shun did, and his info came from Brad. Of course, Willow will be horrified on General Hospital. And the question is why Carly brings this up because it almost seems like that might actually help Willow. So why? So if Rick is ripping apart Michael about his parents, Sonny the mob boss and Carly the insider trader, it could be that she speaks up to accuse Nina, to make it clear that Willow's mom is super sketchy too, to level the playing field. However, Carly might have another reason for screaming out this accusation in court. Sasha's breakdown and the cheating scandal, how will it impact the custody battle? So this week, Sasha takes the stand for the custody case. We'll know immediately if Rick knows she slept with Michael. And on the stand, Sasha is getting really stressed out. And then she goes into premature labor. Of course, Michael is going to run to comfort her to get her through this. That's his baby. His visceral reaction could expose the truth, or if it's already been hinted at with her testimony, it could confirm it. So, Nina might still be sitting on the secret that she knows Sasha Gilmore and Michael hooked up that night. But Rick could figure it out based on how Sasha's going into labor fears this intense trigger from, you know, Michael. I mean, the question is why would Michael care so much about Sasha unless he had stakes in it? If Sasha and Michael cheating is exposed that out came before Willow slept with Drew, then Carly may expose Nina's ketamine secret to make it look like both sides of the family have dirty laundry to air. You know, maybe Carly thinks at that point that she needs to just throw bombshells that will get her son at least joint custody rather than Willow getting sole custody, which is the worst outcome as far as the Corinthos family is concerned. So Sasha breaking down on the stand and the early labor looks like that's happening on Thursday, or at least begins on Thursday. Nina's confession, Carly's confrontation, and the lingering secret of Drew. And then on Friday Nina confesses to something. And it might be that she knows about Michael cheating on Willow with Sasha. You know, we'll see if that's it or if Nina confirms or denies Carly's accusation about the ketamine. I mean, why would Nina admit to it? No matter what the other woman says, unless Carly has tracked down Jacinda and gotten a confession or somehow traced the money, you know, only Brad knew about Portia's involvement. I don't think he knew that Nina was involved. And it was really just Carly's guesswork that even implicated Nina. If you remember that conversation with them from like 3 weeks ago. So Brad shared with Drew that Portia had been like reverse blackmailing him and he got the ketamine and we'll see. So by the end of the week, Carly is confronting Jason no doubt for lying about the baby's paternity and it's her grandchild. Of course, Carly's going to rant. But Jason was doing his level best to protect Michael. And they couldn't trust Carly with it because she would have blabbed. You know she always does. She messes everything up. Anytime anybody has a plan, Carly shows up and barrels through the wall like Mr. Kool-Aid and screws stuff up. So, of course, when she saw that viral video of Drew and the hooker, Carly went over to see Nina and she was gleeful and assumed it was her. But Carly probably also knew that was ammunition she could use against Nina at some point and just tell Willow if she felt like it. And she's got no loyalty there. Willow's fate, betrayal, hope, and the potential for a joint custody deal. So Carly may out Nina if Sasha and Michael's one-night stand comes out. And with all the dirt coming out, Willow may still actually come out of this in good shape. Although she starts the week in court feeling pretty crushed and down. Of course, Drew is going to reassure her. But with Diane aka Killer Miller destroying them on the stand, bringing up Willow's affair and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure Diane is going to drag Drew as a bad role model. Kind of a perv for sleeping with his niece-in-law and then him running around on drugs with a hooker. So Will is going to have to defend Drew. But then things take a turn when Rick gets Sasha on the stand and basically stresses her into early labor is what it looks like. Once the truth comes out, Willow should go from feeling crushed to hopeful. But the news that her mom drugged Drew is going to crush her all over again. General Hospital, joint custody agreement? Good news is Rick and Diane will probably have to settle for joint custody and this battle will end soon because everybody's looking bad. Drew may prod Willow to push for full custody. But I don't think she will. And I'm guessing Drew will think the Sasha and Michael cheating reveal is key to them getting full custody and taking the kids to DC with him and Willow. But this reveal about Nina and the ketamine may really shake up Willow. And in the end, she may just decide to stop the circus, tell Rick cut a joint custody deal, end this or embarrassing ordeal we're all going through. Plus, Willow is going to be reeling when she finds out Sasha is carrying Michael's baby. That's still going to hit her pretty hard. As shocked as Willow might be, she may also be a little relieved. Because this kind of puts her and Michael on even footing. They both cheated. The ultimate secret, will Drew's past with Willow's mom be revealed? But will that one last secret finally come out? You know, the one about Nina and Drew. So, will he go ahead and clear the air and finally tell Willow that he was banging her mom before her? Because Cody definitely knows it. So that is still looming and could come out at any time. So Drew may tell Willow and say it was a means-nothing rebound fling after he and Carly broke up. And then he got to know Willow, fell in love with her, cut Nina off and she was jealous and that's why she's done all this to break them up. I mean, Drew might go full scorched earth. And of course, we all know Willow believes whatever Drew says, and you can bet she's going to slap out at Nina over this. So, the custody case may take the back seat and they work out the joint stuff? Because Michael is going to be at the hospital for Sasha and his baby. General Hospital, Michael at Sasha's side. Since her son with Brando Corbin, Johnny Wachter, died not long after she gave birth, this is very risky. So Michael is going to be at Sasha's side worried about the baby. Willow is going to be kind of crushed and reeling from what Carly says. She's going to find out that Michael and Nina both betrayed her and her former friend Sasha too. So, this could have Willow feeling all alone, which means Drew can sink his claws deeper into her. He's going to come out of this looking like he's the only person Willow can trust, which is kind of scary. Christina had it right this week when she said to Michael that Willow, when she's with Drew, is a lot like when she was with Shiloh. You know, brainwashed and not really thinking for herself. Hospital early spoilers June 9th to 13th, Willow goes for Sasha and Lulu bashed. General Hospital spoilers for June 9 to 13, 2025. See Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, going for Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson, and Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning being completely bashed. And I have to say, she kind of deserves it and possibly a proposal. As we always do on early edition day. We start with what is coming the rest of this week. So let's get right into it. General Hospital spoilers, Michael's custody battle and Sasha's testimony. On Wednesday, June 4th, Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, is up on the stand at the divorce/custody hearing. No doubt Rick Rickhurst has lots of questions, but the question is, how much does Willow's lawyer know? I don't know if you noticed it, but on the most recent episode, Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, was looking a little guilty when Sasha came into the courtroom. So there's a cloud of question around whether Nina shares what she knows. Sasha also takes the stand on Wednesday. And Rick asks when was the last time she and Michael had sex? So yeah, that begs the question, did Nina tell Rick that Michael cheated with Sasha? And it seems likely that Nina did. If not, Rick may have figured it out on his own. Maybe he followed the same path as Nina. Maybe he went to the Brown Dog Bar. Timeline of betrayals, Michael, Sasha, Willow, and Drew. And just real quick, because I got a couple of comments, people not understanding the order of things and thinking that Willow did the deed first. Let me give you the timeline real quick just to refresh you. October 29th, Drew Quartermaine, Cameron Matheson, told Michael he had kissed Willow and he did it to stop Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, and Ned Quartermaine, Wally Kurth, from trying to blackmail him over YelQ votes. Then the next day, October 30th, Michael woke up in bed with Sasha. So Michael had found out Willow had kissed Drew and Sasha had just found out Cody Bell, Josh Kelly, was her cousin, and they were both drinking at the Brown Dog. They woke up in bed together. So that was October 30th. On November 5th, 6 days later, several episodes later, was when Willow shagged Drew in the nursery with no idea the nanny cam was watching. And it was over a month later on December 12th when Michael and all the Quartermaines got to see that sketchy sex tape thanks to the security bear. So there you go. Definitely Michael slept with Sasha before Willow slept with Drew. He did it on October 30th. She did it on November 5th. In terms of episodes, it was just a few. And in terms of actual days in Port Charles, it was probably just a few. But just so you know, if you were one of the ones who were asking me. Port Charles drama, secrets, suspicions, and surprises. So, looks like Sasha stresses out on this stand because Rick seems to know. Plus, Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Benard, and Laura Spencer, Jeannie Francis, discuss their families. Obviously, the Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, and Gio Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza stuff. I wonder if she's going to bring up the missing $10 million from Ace's fund. And Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, gets pushy with Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna. We haven't seen him in a minute. I miss him. And this could be about Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, or the investigation into Sonny penthouse bombing. Anna feels like she is really onto something. Says she's close to figuring something out. Brooklyn Quartermaine, Amanda Seton, is furious as she rips into Lulu's and says she intentionally destroyed her life. And Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, surprises Liz Weber, Rebecca Herbst. Well, does he propose? I don't know how much of a surprise it'll be because she knows that there's a ring box. Now, I guess it would be surprising if there's something other than a ring in there, but it definitely looked like a ring box. Maybe it's going to be a ring pop or something, Plus, Gio tells Emma Scorpio Drake, Braden Bruner, that he feels like the only person he can trust right now is Sonny on General Hospital. And now, he's not even sure that he can trust him, obviously, because how close he is to Lois Cerullo. Laura tells Sonny that this thing that's very vague could have huge repercussions. And I think we're back to him selling the peers to Sidwell, maybe? And Brooklyn congratulates Lulu on succeeding in destroying her life. But I do expect Lulu to tell YelQ she did it to herself. I don't think she's going to be very apologetic. Hospital spoilers, Thursday's turmoil, confrontations, confessions, and medical emergencies. Thursday, June 5th, Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, and Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr invite family over. Looks like Marshall Ashford, Robert Gossett is back in town. Maybe Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, will come over with Trina Robinson, Tabiana Ali. It's all very odd since Curtis is still angry with Portia and questioning his marriage. But since she did come clean to him, about the ketamine stuff, maybe that has convinced him to give her a chance because she was still sitting on that and she came clean. She told the truth for a change. Sasha is feeling quite overwhelmed, and it looks like when Rick starts questioning her about sleeping with Michael that she goes into premature labor. Obviously Rick has freaked her out. And then that same day, Willow leaps into action, and I'm guessing she is going to go straight for Sasha, make a beeline for her, but not to come at her for sleeping with her husband, but because Willow's a nurse and Sasha's very pregnant, is clearly having some sort of medical crisis. And of course, Brando Corbin, Johnny Wachter, and Sasha's baby died not long after birth, and Sasha has been very stressed out about this high-risk pregnancy. So, I think Willow is going to jump in there as a nurse, which is the right thing to do. Lucky faces a painful truth, and I wonder if he worries that Liz won't commit to him while he is committed to Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey basically uncovering her dirty secret, and because he hasn't really committed to staying in Port Charles and putting down real long-term roots. Anna's suspicions grow and she confides in Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and that's why it seems likely about the penthouse bombing. Friday's fallout, regrets, revelations, and reckoning. Friday, June 6th, Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, and Cody open up to each other. I'm guessing that Cody is going to share some of his regrets about the Geo situation. Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, and Curtis catch up. I wonder if he is going to tell her about the ketamine. Drew is quite concerned, and he may be reacting to Carly Corinthos Spencer's Laura Wright outburst about Nina having him drugged. And Willow may think that she's going to have to dump him to keep even partial custody of the kids because now she looks like a cheater with a psycho mom and a sketchy boyfriend. Carly corners Jason, and I'm betting that she is chewing him out for pretending to be the father of Sasha baby when that baby is clearly Carly's grandchild, and Nina confesses. So she may admit to Willow she drugged Drew, and why. Next week's drama, custody battles, confrontations, and complications. The episodes of June 9th through the 13th, Michael is probably reconsidering on pushing for full custody at this point now that the whole Sasha thing seems to have come out. There's obviously going to be some fallout from Carly slinging that accusation at Nina in court on General Hospital. I wonder if Max Scorpio John J. York will follow up. If there is a trail to follow with Brad Cooper, Perry Shun, and Jacinda Paige Herschel both gone and there's nothing necessarily linking it. Nina never confirmed to Carly that she did indeed do it. Like Carly was impressed with her, but I don't remember Nina saying, "Oh yeah, we did that, and since Drew was framing Tracy he might be in trouble for that if he goes against Na." So we'll see how it goes. Liz may confront Rick Weber about the blackmail if Lucky tells her by the end of the week as part of whatever their surprising conversation is. Rocco Falceroni, Finn Francis Carr, and Gio are connecting as brothers, and Willow is on fire. She is likely going to confront and rage at Nina about what she did to Drew. And Tracy and Drew framing her may complicate Mac trying to prosecute anybody for this crime. So we'll see. Marco Rios, Adrian Anchondo, is keeping a close eye on Alexis Davis, Nancy Legron, and Sasha is very worried about her baby.